Hey there, I'm Adrienne, your go-to guide on this empowering journey to self-love and authenticity. I've transformed my own struggles into strengths, and now I help others navigate their path to their inner knowing and create personal fulfillment. On this show, we're not shying away from tough conversations. We're diving headfirst into topics like self-worth, overcoming limiting beliefs, challenging societal norms, and creating a life that's not just successful, but truly fulfilling. We're all about blending heartfelt, soul-searching chats with practical, actionable strategies. Think of this podcast as your trusty compass on the path to your most authentic life, mixed with a cozy fireside chat with a dear friend. Ready to uncover your true self and lead a life that's in sync with your deepest desires? You're in the right place, friend. Welcome to the Live Your Truth, Love Your Life podcast. Hey there, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're unraveling the golden thread that ties the physical body to the beautiful journey of renewal. Yes, we're delving into the world of physical renewal through movement. But hold on. When I say movement, I mean the beautiful, organic, and self-loving kind of movement. So let's focus on finding joy and renewal through the art of moving our bodies. If you're in a season where you're loving your gym routine, you're putting in miles, you're lifting weights, keep doing that work. But I don't want people to think that's the only way to incorporate movement into your lifestyle. We've all heard the saying, a body in motion stays in motion. It's not just about building muscle or losing weight. It's about waking up and shaking up. It's about breathing life into every cell of your being. So take a deep breath and let's step into this space of exploration and loving kindness towards ourselves. You don't have to be doing high intensity workouts or lifting heavy weights to see benefits. Those things, of course, will help you increase your fitness levels and you'll see physical transformation doing those things. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to do those things to have a movement practice. Even a gentle morning walk or a stretch could be incredibly beneficial. If you have an idea in your mind of what a workout routine should be, or what fitness looks like, or what movement is, and you don't currently fit that ideal, you might be thinking to yourself, well, why bother? Or you feel uncomfortable starting. You know that you want to move your body, you know that you should move your body, but you're not one of those people. So, how do you start? Where do you start? I invite you to look at movement under the idea of any movement is better than no movement. And that's somewhere we can all start. Did you know that regular movement can enhance your mood, alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety, and even improve your sleep? Yes, the benefits are truly holistic. Rachel Hollis, she has a podcast and she's in the self-help world. She used to say, move your body, change your mind. I actually bought a tank top from her company maybe 6 or 7 years ago that I still have and I still wear. That really is what movement is for me. When I move, my anxiety, my worries, my need to plan and produce, they melt away. I become so engaged with the movement that for however long I'm doing it, that's all that exists. It keeps me in the present moment. And when that happens, it frees up my mind. So when I stop moving, I feel clear headed. Whatever was clouding my mind or my mood is usually in the rear view by the time I finish. And again, let's not confine ourselves to the four walls of a gym. I say this as I have a gym in my garage, by the way. I have a Peloton bike, I have a treadmill, I legitimately have a CrossFit gym in my garage. But that doesn't have to be your movement practice. Dancing, walking, yoga, these are all forms of movement that nourish both the body and the soul. So I want to invite you to expand your idea of movement and embrace whatever form speaks to you. Right now, my movement practice consists mostly of two things: a Peloton workout of some kind, or walking or hiking, usually with one of my dogs. There have been times where my movement practice has looked very different than it does right now. I was super into CrossFit in like 2010, 2012, that time in there. And I got certified as a level one trainer. It's probably, 10 years ago now. And at that time, I was all about lifting, about getting stronger, about getting faster. After that, we're kind of around the same time, but I started getting really into half marathons. And I started transitioning most of what I did for movement into getting miles in and shaving time off of my running PRs. After a few years where that was kind of my focus, I moved more into endurance events like marathons, ultra marathons, 29:29 Everesting. That's an event where you climb the equivalent of Mount Everest up a mountain. So, yeah, my movement practice and my training has incorporated a lot of running, hiking, biking, bodyweight workouts while focusing on that sort of thing. And I'm still doing those types of events, but I just came out of a summer that was full of endurance events and traveling where I did a lot of hiking. I did back to back 29:29 events, one in Sun Valley, Idaho in June, and one in Jackson Hole in July. And then from there, I did hiking through the Grand Tetons and to Yellowstone. So I've put a lot of miles on my feet. And right now, for like this past month and a half, I've really slowed things down a bit. And that's where, I'm jumping on my Peloton, whether it's the bike or the treadmill, or I'm doing one of the classes. And yeah, I take my dog out for a walk. And that's kind of what movement looks like for me right now. I want to emphasize that right now, movement for me is about just moving, not specifically training. I like to stay what I call adventure ready, meaning if an event or something pops up, I've maintained a level of fitness where I can participate and finish, but I'm not winning anything. Right now, I can feel myself getting a little restless, so I know I'll be ramping things up in the near future as far as getting on a training regimen. But right now, day to day, if I get some movement in, I'm a happy camper. Typically, what I do is I find an event, I get it on the calendar, and my focus shifts from getting in that holistic movement to actually training to meet the goals required for that event. So, how can we embrace a movement practice that feels natural and rewarding? You have to listen to your body. Tune into what your body's saying. It guides you in the right direction. If you're new to this, start small. Maybe it's been years since you've worked out regularly. Maybe you're coming off of an injury and you're nowhere near where you were a year ago. You might start with a 10-minute gentle yoga routine in the morning or maybe an evening walk. The key is consistency when you're starting out. You want to find something that you enjoy and make it a regular part of your routine. You can enjoy moving your body, by the way. You really can. It's just about finding what you enjoy. What I enjoy might not be what you enjoy, and vice versa. And that's perfectly okay. The point is to try different things and see what you like. If you actually like what you're doing and you enjoy it, you'll be more likely to stick with it, which upfront makes building that habit easier. Of course, if you have an event on the horizon and you have to train, that's probably going to require following a program. You're going to have to do certain things every day if you want to be ready for that event. And that's a great place to be in as well. It gives you something to work towards. But again, if you're not there right now and you're just like, man, I've been pretty sedentary lately and I want to do some stuff, start small. And again, start with something that you know that you enjoy. So you're thinking, okay, I've been thinking about this and I know that I want to get up, I want to move, I want to do some things, but I just like keep not getting around to it. You might want to set some clothes out the night before that you're going to work out in. You may want to actually schedule that movement in your calendar, in your planner, in your phone, whatever system you use to keep you on track. Put movement into it, even if it's just 10 minutes. If you don't schedule it, it may not happen. So if you're one of those people that have a schedule and you know where you need to be and what you need to be doing at nearly every minute of the day, put movement in there so you don't skip over it. Maybe you're going to commit to walking your dog for 15 minutes first thing in the morning. Put that in your calendar. Or maybe you're going to commit to a 30-minute Peloton ride after work every day before you start making dinner and spending time with your family. Put that in your calendar. You decide what it looks like, and then you have to go for it. In 2015 or so, I was at a little bit of a low point. As we all know, life ebbs and flows. Sometimes, we feel like we're on top of the world, and other times we feel like we just can't quite get it right and we're a bit off track. So for me, around that time, I felt bogged down by a lot of the relationships in my life and the work that I was doing at the time. I felt like I couldn't access my intuition, and I felt stuck constantly. It was like I couldn't get out of my own way. I didn't even know how to get out of my own way. So I went to a therapist, and the therapist that I was seeing at that time told me to start doing yoga. She told me that it would help connect with my body, and I would quickly see a ripple effect throughout my life, from physical changes to mental and emotional changes. Though I did not stick with that particular therapist for very long, she was right about the yoga. For me, it took a little bit of time to establish the practice. I considered myself fit. I was running, I was lifting, I was doing a lot of physical activity, but I typically skipped out on the stretching that I knew I should do before and after my workouts. So, knowing this, I felt self conscious. I'm not flexible. I didn't even know basic yoga poses at the time. There was a lot of talking myself out of even trying, telling myself, you can't do that, you don't know how to do that, you're going to look stupid, those kinds of things. But, with that mental gymnastics, the back and forth, I finally decided to try a few different yoga studios and I dropped in on some classes. I had a hard time finding something that was at a level that felt accessible to me and that was close enough to my house so I could go regularly, and finding a studio where I felt like I actually fit in or belonged. So after trying several, I didn't feel like I had a fit. So instead of just kind of throwing that in the trash and giving up on that idea, I decided I would try some different yoga classes on YouTube. Right now, that probably doesn't sound weird because, like I said, with Peloton, or, maybe you have a subscription to Mirror or any of these other internet based platforms, especially since COVID, right? Like that's how we consume our fitness content, or a lot of the time, that's how we consume our fitness content. In 2015, wasn't near as popular to go online to do workouts as it is now. So I ended up trying different yoga classes on YouTube, and I found an instructor that I absolutely loved. She really helped me establish a practice. So my favorite yoga teacher on YouTube is Yoga with Adriene. She has one N in Adriene, not two like me. And she has tons and tons of classes. And she has been posting classes to YouTube for, I think, 11 years now. She has something for all time frames. So if you've got 5 minutes or you got 30 minutes, you got 45 minutes, she has something for everyone. If you're an absolute beginner, or if you're looking to perfect your handstand or your headstand or your crow pose or whatever it is, she's got something for you. She is amazing. So if you're looking to incorporate a gentle way to move into your life, I encourage you to start there with her. She is fantastic. So I want to talk about the ripple effect that movement has on different aspects of our lives. So I personally have experienced an enhancement in my creativity and productivity when I'm regular with my movement practice. Think about it. When you're engaged in physical activity, you're not just moving your body, but you're also fostering a stronger mind body connection. Like I said, that's why I sought yoga for a bit. I wanted to strengthen that mind body connection. It's like every step, every stretch, it's a message to yourself that you matter, that you are worthy of love and care. When I feel frustrated, stuck, like I can't focus, like I can't come up with ideas, I'll pop onto my Peloton bike and do a short, upbeat class. It doesn't have to be an hour-long workout to experience the mental benefits. Give me a 15-minute Jess King class, little EDM trap ride, and I am back in the game. I'll feel a shift in that short time. And sometimes that's all I'm looking for. As we near the end of this discussion, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences with movement. Perhaps you could start exploring the path of physical renewal from today, from this very moment. It's never too late to start, and there's no one size fits all in this journey. It's your path, your unique, beautiful path to physical renewal. Keep in mind the idea of move your body, change your mind. If the idea of approaching movement from the lens of fitness or working out feels uncomfortable or intimidating, approach it from the idea of wellness, from wholeness. Just a small amount of movement every day will benefit you physically, mentally, and emotionally throughout the entire day. I would love to hear from you on my social platforms. I want you to share your stories, your experiences around embracing renewal this month. And remember to subscribe to the show if you haven't already and leave a review. 5 stars, please. But really, please, if you can, subscribe and review. It actually helps get the show in front of more people when they put in different search terms. And also, if you got anything out of this episode, please pass it along to a friend that you think could benefit from hearing it. The more the merrier on this journey. Until next time, live your truth, love your life. That's it for today's episode, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me on the Live Your Truth, Love Your Life podcast. To get even more out of today's conversation, don't forget to swing by the show notes and download your freebie. Want to keep the conversation going? I'd love to hear what spoke to you most today. Head on over to my Instagram at Live Your Truth, Love Your Life and drop me a comment. I'm always excited to connect and learn more about you. Remember, the journey towards living your truth and loving your life is a rewarding one. New episodes are dropping each Monday and Thursday, and I can't wait for next time. Until then, have a fantastic week.